et tegu on siis Logica Eesti aktsiaseltsi ettekandega siis ja Logica ise ilmselt tõesti tutvustamist ei vaja, et multinatsionaalne ettevõte üle 40 riigis tegutsev, üle 40 000 töötajaga ja väga pikaajalise kogemusega ja pakub siis äri- ja tehnoloogiateenuseid. Ja Eestis töötab Logica siis Tallinnas ja Tartus ja eile ka Innovaatika uudistest käis läbi selline väikene kild siis, et Logica on võitnud Euroopa satelliitnavigatsioonisüsteemi võistlusel ühe auväärse auhinna ja eelkõige just, mis on seotud siis nii-öelda elektriautode ja sellega seotud sellise elektromobiilse ökosüsteemi, sellise IT-lahenduse pakkumisse. Ja kas nüüd täpselt sellest, aga siis kontserni sees nii-öelda, mis mõtteid siis Eesti üksus mõtleb ja kas need mõtted on kohati suuremad kui Logical endal, et sellest saamegi Erik Davidi ettekandest kohe kuulda ja nüüd on see moment, kus te saate katsetada oma tõlkeseadmeid. Et tõstke siis käsi püsti, kui see ei hakka kohe toimima, et ma siis tulen ja aitan teid. Aga the floor is yours.
Ja, tere, minu nimi on Erik David, aga minu eesti keel ei ole nii hea, et ma saan edasi eesti keeles rääkida, vabandan, aga räägin inglise keel nüüd. Just for information, so I am French. I am living in Estonia for 15 years, and I am working in Logica, or what's become Logica, since these 15 years. So I will give you a few words about Logica. Does some of you know about Logica? Can you reach your hand if you know about Logica? Yeah, X. So, as said, I mean, Logica is a big company. I mean, it's a worldwide company. We are in more than 40 countries. Number is changing quite every day. We are more than 40,000 people. We are mainly in Europe, but we are also in India, Australia, Brazil. When we are in Europe, in all the biggest countries, we are often in the top 5 and often even in the first or second biggest IT company. For example, in Sweden, we are the biggest IT company. In Finland, the second. In France, third, and so on and so on. If you look at the full group revenue, it's 4.2 billion euro. So if you compare to Estonian budget, it gives you some idea of the size of the company. And the company is existing now for more than 40 years. I mean, it started in UK, France, Netherlands, more or less in the same times, Sweden as well, for example. Yeah. So now what we are in Estonia, of course, we are much smaller. And we are one of the smallest units of the group, but still going well and progressing. If you look at the history, I mean, Logica Eesti is the result of the merging of 3 companies, which was made in 2005. Many of these companies, for example, Aprote, which is a company I come from, were started in 1993. So we have near about 20 years experience in the IT market in Estonia. So we are 100 people. As said, we are in Tallinn and in Tartu, more or less 50-50. And this year, we expect our revenue to be around 4 million euro. What is interesting is that from this 4 million, about 2/3 is coming from export, and 1/3 is for local projects. Just in few words, I will not go in detail, what kind of client we are in Estonia. In general, we are dealing with the biggest company in Estonia. Of course, in public sector, we are working in different ministries, PRIA, which is depending on the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Social Affairs. We are working also with the Tartu Ülikool. Second sector, when we are also dealing and have a lot of work, is in the energy and utility, especially with Estonian Energy, Elering, Estonian Gas. And in the same way, third area, when we have a strong experience, is in telecom, and especially with EMT, which we are also working more than 10 years. There are some other projects we have done in industry, in financial, but this is an area where we have a bit less experience in Estonia. In group, of course, there is a lot of experience. If we speak now what kind of export, we have been working for different Logica units in Finland, in Sweden, Germany, UK. And today we have been working for different type of client. Again, we find the public sector, we find the utility, and one topic I will discuss a bit later about the space and SATCOM. I mean, Logica has a strong experience in this domain, and we have been working with ESA team. So I will speak shortly how is the innovation inside Logica and what are a bit the process and how we deal with it inside the group, and after to give you example of what we have done in Estonia about it. First, I mean, when we speak about the innovation, of course, we make it that to the end client is in the center. It means that if you make innovation, is to fulfill some needs of your client. And so this is the kernel of our decision. But of course, as we are an IT company, technology is quite important, but it's not enough. So it means that we have to be up to date in the latest technology in the IT sector, database, business intelligence, and all these kind of things. But what is also very important is creativity, and to put the process that there will be strong synergy between different teams, between the people who know the technology and between the people we know well the business, and to see how we can combine this to propose solutions which are new and solve the problem in a more efficient way than it was before. And the third thing to make this working, it's really to have a strong organization behind it, because we see often, for example, with some startup, when they have good idea, they have good technical knowledge, but to the end, they don't reach a success because they don't have good process to carry on the project to the end. So the execution about the process, to have an organization which support the production team is very important. Innovation is, in our context, we see it as a culture and something which is very important, which means that you have the R&D department, but it has to be the concern of everyone in the company, which means that for that, we have, for example, a portal which is available for all the 40,000 people. And we can see in the portal, I mean, there are really different things, for example, about process. Silmet was mentioning about patent, intellectual property. So when you are a company like in Estonia, when we have a bit less experience, we can go to the group and to this portal to see who we have to contact, who how to manage all these patent questions, for example. What is very important, when there is a lot of innovation, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, and we need also to know what has been done in other countries. So really to get easy access of all innovation which has been made in other places is very important. So we are working in different topics, RFID, augmented reality. In Estonia, we don't deal with it. But we know that if one day a client comes with this kind of need, we can search here, and we can see if we have some team, whatever country, which is able to help us to find a solution for the client. Second thing, which is also related with this culture, and this is internal and external, it means that we have what we call Logica TV, when there is a lot of video about different product, different way to organize innovation. It's not only sales material. I mean, there are some of them which are demo, but it's really to understand what is the market trends, for example. And this is, for example, the next, what we call this future scope idea. It's a bit like a game. There is some question you can see, ask what you believe. For example, at the moment we deal very much with the cloud computing. What are the different trends? And this tool is public available. Every one of you can participate if interested. And the idea is to see that what is the market trend, to understand a bit like a stock option idea, that if you make a proposition, do you feel that everyone believes like you think, or in opposite. So this is different tools. I mean, it's hard to show them only on the slide. It needs a bit more to use them to understand. But it is really kind of tools which helps to communicate inside the group and with our client as well, how we manage the innovation. Another thing that we have been using and is really to try to put synergy between different topics. We have called what we call Spark Innovation Center. So there are 8 of them, if I remember well, in different countries, which are focusing on one topic. And then we really bring different teams together, which have different expertise, to propose a full range of solutions which cover different needs. So we have some of them, for example, in Sweden, which is dealing with workspace, housing innovation, and really very fancy user interface to use a tablet and all this kind of thing. For example, we deal very much with Portugal in energy and utility when they are all wind farm management. I mean, we speak at the moment very much about green and all this wind farm, about smart metering. And this is kind of thing that, for example, people of Eastern Energy has been very happy to visit this kind of thing and to look a lot of propositions which are really on the top of the innovation that in Estonia we don't do. So this is idea that they could be interested to import. And so we have, for example, in India, very much stuff related with public intelligent transportation system, how in the big city to manage that there is no circulation problems, that and things like that. One thing that we do in the group, which is very interesting as well, it's something we call Global Innovation Venture Partner. Idea is to find a network of companies which are proposing a new product, innovative product, because we know that in Logica we don't have all ideas in the world. We know that we can't do everything, and we need to find a partner with companies which have very good idea and to help them to access market. So, for example, we plan to do it in Estonia. At the moment, it is only in few countries. Estonia is not included. We are discussing with a group to make it next year also for Estonian company. Idea is that there is first a local competition. So all companies which have a product which is innovative, we see that it is helping our client to solve some problems, will be selected. We will have a local winner, and after the winner of every country will get a second round, and we will get a Logica winner. What is the advantage for the company to work with us in this? And in both ways, it's a win-win situation. It means that first we give them visibility, because these often are quite small companies, 20, 50 people. It's very hard for them to work in big company, and they need a company like Logica to help them to entrance in some market. So we give them the visibility that if they've been selected, they can now reach all our clients which need this solution. The second thing that we can bring them some value, because their product could be extended with our product, and all together it makes a bigger ecosystem. So I will speak a bit what we have done in Logica Estonia. I mean, and especially, I mean, Silmet was mentioning also before, what are the different funding solution we have used? Because, I mean, to make this kind of innovation, of new product, I mean, you have a different way to fund it. Either it's your own funding, which we have done also sometimes, but we have used also, for example, European money. I mean, it was a 5th framework, 6th framework, now it is a 7th framework, which is going on. So, for example, in 2002, 2003, so before we were Logica, we make a project. And what is the advantage of this project? I will not go into detail what is behind it. I think it's too technical. But what is the result of this? First, I mean, you share experience with companies in other places in Europe. I mean, we were a Spanish company, Czech Republic, Germany, and already this exchange was very interesting. Exchange with university, which was also very helpful, because, I mean, it needs some theoretical knowledge that we didn't have. And now for Logica, what is give to us is give strong knowledge of testing. So we were able to propose new product, new service, and in Estonia and also abroad. I mean, with this project, we have been getting some work that we did for Germany, for Airbus, for example. A bit later, as this first project was successful, we have also applied again for European fund. It was now in the 6th framework. It was a very big project, 20 million euro. Was a lot of participants, 22. Logica was relatively small one for there. They were a very big company like British Telecom and things like that. Different university from different country. And here also, result of it is again to increase our knowledge, to share experience with other companies, and to the end, we have been able to be a bit more efficient in our everyday work. Of course, if we are here today with AIS, AIS is a very good channel to support innovation. And an example of this, we have implemented now a few years ago a product which is called Poster, which is to make card payment solution. You can say that there are already a lot of them. Our product has some specificity, which I will not also detail here. But so after we make the solution, we build a product, and now we want that this product is already sold in Estonia. Some companies are using it, but we want to help to export it. And this is where AIS has been, I mean, we are in the process at the moment, but it's very helpful to help about the marketing, the export strategy. And this product is ready, but we want to make the next generation, which is able to work on mobile phone, tablet, like iPad and things like that. And of course, it needs some investment to do that. And this is also what we hope to work with AIS to get some funding for that. Another project that AIS has put in place, which is quite interesting, is what we call STAC, or TAC in Estonian. It's an organization which helps different software companies like Logica, like LMS, Web Media, for which of you know a bit the IT market, to develop also some product. And we have been working on 2 of them, a bit like the previous one. It's helped us to be more efficient in our daily work. This is something that now one of the products is from the group. They find it quite interesting. I mean, it's not a product. It's more like a framework, a proof of concept. And now this is a big discussion how in the group we could use this internally to propose to our client and maybe to make it as a product itself. And the other part we did is this web service, which is also very technical, but it is, again, one thing through the partnership in STAC, when university people are involved and things like that, we have been able to define a framework which helps us to be a bit more efficient, and this is something that we have used in our space project. So we have speak about space. This is one of the topic which has been recently quite much in the media. I will explain you a bit how it started. I don't know if all of you know, but Estonia is now going to, I mean, it's an associated member of ESA. ESA stands for European Space Agency, which means that, and the goal for Estonia is to be a full member in a few years. To be a full member needs that you need to have enough activity around the space business. Last year, it was in May or June, I don't remember exactly, AIS organized a space downstream service event, so a bit similar event like it is today, around all the space business and all satellite taking picture of the Earth and how to use them. And Logica was a partner to help AIS to organize this event. Because in the group, we have more than 40 years experience, mainly in UK, Netherlands, and Germany. So we have around 400 people who have very strong experience on this business area. And it was an opportunity for us to meet our colleagues, because we didn't discuss before this topic with them. And we started to make a cooperation with Logica Germany. So we sent some people in Germany. We start to get some knowledge about the topic. And now the team is 11 people or something like that. And so we started now 1 year ago to help Logica Germany to develop some solution which are related with Galileo. I mean, Logica has won a very large contract, several, I don't remember exactly, 50 million euro or something like that. I mean, it's a very large contract related with Galileo. And so we have started to get some knowledge about this satellite business, and especially how to control the satellite. It means that when the satellites are in orbit, you need to keep them on the right altitude, the right direction. You need to give them some order to turn and things like that. So Logica is responsible to develop the application to do that, and our team is participating to that. And a few months ago, when started to be the discussion that Estonia wants to send the first satellite, this S-Cube, we see that we have now the competence. And in Estonia, university was alone, and we propose to help them to work on this software. And we signed an agreement with the University of Tartu. We propose a solution which is called Hummingbird. And so we help some students in Tartu to develop the program which will help to control the S-Cube satellite. As I said, to open the solar wind, to control the direction and things like that. And as you mentioned, the last news has been that we have won the first prize for a concourse which was organized by ESA. So it was a bit in the same with our venture programs. It was first a competition in every country. So in Estonia was 11 companies which suggested some idea about how to use Galileo to help to everyday life of people. And we propose a solution which is related, as in Estonia, there is also a lot of activity around electric car, and this is also a domain when Logica has a lot of experience. So we have somehow combined both of them, combine the navigation, satellite knowledge, and in the same time our knowledge of electric car. And we propose a solution which helps the people who have electric car to get to one place to another place, knowing where will be the charging point, but in the same time that the device will speak directly with the car to know how much autonomy you still have, and then change your route to go to the next charging point and to reserve the charging point so that you don't have to wait for that. Of course, it's just an idea now. We have to see that the infrastructure in Estonia is going to deploy. We have ourselves to see how we go in to realize this idea. But it was selected to be the best idea from Estonian. And we have been in Munich, some of our team, where was also a prize for around 30 other countries. So that's it about my presentation. And you can ask questions. You can ask in Estonian. It's no problem. I will answer more probably in English, but you can ask in Estonian.
Ja küsimusi võib eesti keeles küsida, et tõlk meil tõlgib ühtepidi, nii et ongi parem, kui te eesti keeles küsite. Et kas tekkis selle jutu peale küsimusi? Või on juba aeg selline, et palun, Kaida.
Mul oleks selline küsimus, et sul oli mitu varianti siin ka väljas, mida sa näitasid meile, kuidas te kogute ideesid, uusi ideesid enda tegevuse arendamiseks. See on ka üsna selge, et ideede puuduse käes ei ole keegi veel vaevelnud. Ideid on alati piisavalt.
Ja.
Mida te teete nende ideedega pärast? Ehk siis kuidas te suudate otsustada, mis on hea ja mis on halb?
Here there are two ways to see it. It's what we do in Estonian level and what we do in group level. When it is submitted, I showed before this portal, I think it's now up for more than 2 years, and 3,500 ideas has been suggested here. Of course, a lot of them are sometimes internal not to make a product, but just to make life in Logica much simpler. But the one which are interesting enough to become a product or to improve a solution, an existing solution, there is a committee. It means that, so there is, I don't know exactly how the selection, which one go to this committee, but there is, so this selection which is done, and after this committee, which basically with our R&D department, which is in different country, and the expert in different domain, they are evaluating, and after, based on the budget, based on the estimated potential, because people who have some idea, is everyone in the company, so they don't know exactly what is the market and so on. So this is the way that it is evaluated. And I will say, in our scales, it's more or less the same in Estonia. Basically, we also evaluate this kind of idea, if some of them are, for example, when we start this poster product, in the beginning it was something that we did for a specific client, and we see that there was a potential to make it really as a product. So we reuse the knowledge we acquired, we have a discussion with different partners, we turn it as a product, and now we see how to go next step further about the investment to make it, to export it. And this is also where to be part of a group like Logica is very good, because exactly as I mentioned, when the product becomes a Logica product, today this is still a Logica Estonia product, but when it starts to be a Logica product, recognized as such, then all countries will start to propose them to their client. And today, it's still not a Logica product, but we have already marketed to some of our colleagues, and there is a discussion that it will be used by a Swedish railway, for example.
Aitäh. Veel küsimusi? Kuidas sa, Erik, ise näed Logica Eesti kasvupotentsiaali, et sa ettevõttest üldiselt rääkides mainisid, et mõnedes siis riikides on sellise spetsialiseerunud tähelepanu või fookusvaldkondadega innovatsioonikeskused. Seal Taanis oli vist tervishoiule pühendunud ja Indias transpordisüsteemidele, kui ma õigesti mäletan, et mis selliseks showcase'iks saamise eeldused või tingimused on, et Eestile meeldib mõelda, et me oleme e-riigi lahendustes väga kõvad tegijad ja Logica Eesti ise praegu näitas natukene ju suunda elektromobiilsusega seotud lahenduste pakkumises, et kas sa näed siin üldse potentsiaali, et Eesti võiks ka mõnes valdkonnas selleks showcase'iks saada?
I think we are still a bit too small, but in a few years, I think there is a potential to do it. And we have this poster which is related with payment solution. We have different team, but the idea is really to see more synergy. We have few products, we have few ideas, but today we can't say that we have, like in this demo center, solution from A to Z. I mean, we have few points, but not the full solution. So this is, there are few areas. I mean, if we look at our background, as I said, we have mainly three areas. We are strong, is public sector, utility, and telecom. If we look at utilities, there is already something in Portugal. Public sector, there is not something as such. And when we know that there is this Erik in Estonia, yes, it could be a topic to develop more.
Tekkis veel küsimusi? Kui mitte, siis aitäh!
Palun!
Väga toreda ettekande eest!